Welcome back to Pocket Change Coins. Love hidden coin treasures? First, we're revealing coins that could be worth much more than you think. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We are talking about the United States of America States Quarter from Lowell, dated 2019 with a D mint mark. Yes, you heard it right, a coin so recent, yet so special, it could be worth an incredible fortune. The year 2019 was a big one for the America the Beautiful Quarters program, an initiative that celebrated the beauty, history, and culture of the United States through incredible designs. One of the standout releases from that year was the Lowell Quarter, honoring the historic Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts, a place that symbolizes the heart of America's Industrial Revolution. Now, let's paint the picture. On the obverse side, as always, we see the familiar profile of George Washington, strong and dignified, a reminder of the country's roots. But flip the coin, and you step back in time to the bustling textile mills of 19th-century Lowell. The reverse design features a mill girl working at a loom with the Butt Mill clock tower in the background. This image is rich with meaning. It pays tribute to the women who were a vital part of America's early industrial success. It's not just a coin, it's a window into the spirit of innovation, resilience, and hard work that built a nation. Now, while millions of Lowell quarters were minted, the ones you really want to pay attention to are those that came from the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mark on the coin. But wait, not all Lowell 2019 D quarters are created equal. What makes some of these coins worth a life-changing amount of money? It all comes down to condition, rare errors, and collector demand. A standard 2019 D Lowell quarter, straight from circulation, might just be worth 25 cents. However, coins that have rare minting errors, unique die varieties, or are preserved in pristine, uncirculated, mint state condition, these are the ones that set collectors' hearts racing. Some Lowell quarters have been discovered with striking errors like extra material around the hand at the loom, known as die chips, or doubled images caused by die doubling during the minting process. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, and when they do, they make the coin incredibly rare. Collectors go wild for these types of errors because they are anomalies, little freaks of the minting process, and every one of them tells a unique story. And then, of course, there is the matter of grading. Coins are graded based on their appearance, from heavily worn to absolutely flawless. A 2019 D Lowell quarter, graded in a perfect mint state 67, 68, or even 69 is something truly special. In the world of coin collecting, the higher the grade, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Combine a flawless grade with a rare minting error, and you have a jackpot on your hands. What's fascinating about the Lowell quarter is that it represents a modern treasure hunt. Unlike old, rare coins that are locked away in museums or private collections, these quarters are still out there in circulation today. You could literally find one in your change after buying a coffee, or discover one tucked away in a forgotten piggy bank. Imagine the excitement, holding a simple quarter, only to realize it might be one of the rarest finds of recent years. Imagine the joy of sending it to be graded and learning that your humble coin is something extraordinary. And now, the moment you have been patiently waiting for. If you happen to come across a 2019 D Lowell quarter with a rare error in uncirculated, high-grade condition, you could be looking at a value of an astonishing $65,000. Yes, that's right. A simple quarter, minted just a few years ago, could be worth $65,000 if you have the right one. So, next time you get change back at the store, don't just toss those coins aside, take a closer look, because hidden among the ordinary could be a tiny piece of history, and a truly extraordinary fortune. Second rare coin, we are talking about the United States of America States Quarter Virginia 1788 to 2000 D, a coin that's not just a part of American history, but potentially a fortune tucked away in your pocket. When we think of quarters, most of us think of vending machines, parking meters, or loose change rattling around the house. But this Virginia State Quarter is something truly special. It was released as part of the monumental 50 State Quarters program, an initiative that celebrated every state's unique contribution to America's story. The Virginia Quarter proudly honors Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in the New World, founded in 1607. The design on the back of the coin features the three legendary ships, the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery, sailing bravely across the Atlantic Ocean. It's a tribute to exploration, courage, and the adventurous spirit that helped build a nation. Above these ships, you'll see the important dates, and right there is the name Virginia, reminding us of its crucial place in America's beginnings, and if you look carefully on the front side, near George Washington's bust, you'll notice a tiny letter D, the Denver Mint's mark, confirming it was struck in Colorado. Now, most of these quarters are common, millions were made and spent, clinking through cash registers and piggy banks across the country. But here's the incredible part. Not all Virginia quarters are created equal, some have rare minting errors, others are preserved in such extraordinary condition that they stand out like a diamond among stones. Imagine a coin that has never been touched by human hands, never been dropped, scratched, or spent. A flawless quarter from the year 2000, shining brightly with sharp details and smooth surfaces. Collectors search the world over for coins like these. Even rarer are coins with mistakes. Some Virginia quarters have been found with double dies, misstrikes, and off-center minting errors. These kinds of errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin's creation, and they turn a regular quarter into a unique masterpiece, one that serious collectors are willing to fight over. The value of a coin skyrockets when it is a combination of rarity, historical importance, pristine condition, and a touch of mint-made magic. And that is exactly what makes certain Virginia 1788 to 2000 D quarters so valuable today. Grading plays a huge role too. Coins that are graded as MS-67, MS-68, or even higher are considered museum quality. Every tiny detail matters. The ship sails, the tiny letters, even the fields around the design must be free of blemishes to command the highest prices. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if my quarter is one of the rare ones? First, look for that D mint mark, then check for strong, bold designs without wear. If you notice anything unusual like doubling of images or text, or strange borders, that could be your jackpot ticket. And if your quarter looks unusually perfect, almost like it was minted yesterday, then it's definitely worth getting it authenticated and graded. Because here's the thrilling reality. A United States of America States quarter Virginia 1788 to 2000 D, if found in near perfect mint condition, and especially if it carries a rare mint error, could be worth a staggering $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000. For a coin that could be hiding right now among your spare change. So don't take your quarters for granted. Check them closely, preserve them carefully, and who knows, the next time you find a Virginia 1788 to 2000 D quarter, it might just be your ticket to an incredible discovery. Third expensive coin is going to take you into the heart of America's Midwest, where wide open plains, rugged canyons, and historical legends come together on one very special coin, the Nebraska State Quarter from 2006, marked with a small but mighty D for Denver. Now, before you brush this coin off as just another quarter you've seen 100 times, take a moment and look a little closer. Because what's printed on this small piece of metal is more than art, it's a story, a symbol, and possibly even a small treasure waiting to be discovered. Let's start with what makes this quarter so visually stunning. On the reverse side, you'll see a striking image of Chimney Rock, a natural spire that towers over the Nebraska plains. This formation was a critical landmark for pioneers who traveled westward across the United States during the 1800s. For those brave families on the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails, Chimney Rock wasn't just scenery, it was hope, direction, and progress. And just below it, you'll find an old-fashioned covered wagon drawn by oxen, a tribute to the adventurous settlers who risked everything for a new life on the frontier. The sun in the background casts a warm glow across the plains, reminding us of the spirit of discovery and endurance that built this country. This design tells a story of courage and resilience, and it's one of the reasons collectors fell in love with this coin the moment it was released. But it's not just the beauty of the Nebraska quarter that makes it valuable, it's the condition, the rarity, and those tiny details that most people miss. The Denver Mint produced millions of these quarters in 2006. And while most of them are still in circulation today, worn down from years of use, a select few remain in stunning, untouched condition. Some have never been spent, never been scratched, and look just as flawless as the day they were minted. These coins are known as mint state coins, and collectors are always on the hunt for them. But there's another layer of rarity, the world of mint errors. That's where this story gets even more exciting. Some Nebraska quarters have been discovered with double dies, meaning part of the design is printed twice in a slightly shifted position. Others have off-center strikes, where the artwork is visibly misplaced, and then there are the coins with die cracks or cuds, where extra metal appears raised along the surface due to die damage. Errors like these don't make the coin worthless. They make it worth a whole lot more, because for collectors, these errors tell a deeper story, about the machinery, the minting process, and how rare it is for such a mistake to survive quality control. And here's the secret most people don't know: Nebraska quarters with a D mint mark, found in perfect uncirculated condition or with unique minting errors, are not just collector's items, they're investment pieces. Some of these coins have been graded by professional services at levels like MS-67 or even MS-68, incredibly high scores for a circulated quarter. The higher the grade, the sharper the detail, the better the shine, and the higher the value. So next time you're sorting through your change, keep your eyes peeled for that tiny D below, "In God We Trust." Look at the design, check the details, hold it up to the light, because you never know when you might be holding onto something far more valuable than 25 cents. In fact, there's one recorded case of a Nebraska 1867 to 2006 D quarter, in pristine, uncirculated condition and carrying a rare error, that stunned the collecting world when it sold for an unbelievable total of $50,000. Yes, $50,000 for one quarter that might have slipped through your hands at a gas station, grocery store, or coffee shop. So if you love history, if you love a good mystery, and if you love the thrill of turning pocket change into a prize, the Nebraska State Quarter might just be your golden opportunity. Now, we are diving deep into the beauty, the history, and the hidden fortune behind a coin that often goes unnoticed but carries incredible value: the Idaho State Quarter, minted in 2007 with the precious little D mark from Denver. At first glance, this quarter might seem like any other in your change jar, but believe me, there's a lot more to this small piece of metal than meets the eye. The design on the Idaho quarter immediately stands out for its simple elegance and powerful symbolism. Dominating the reverse side is the magnificent peregrine falcon, wings spread wide, eyes sharp and focused, captured in mid-flight. The peregrine falcon is not just any bird, it's the fastest animal on the planet, capable of reaching speeds over 200 miles per hour during a dive. This fearless hunter perfectly represents the spirit of Idaho: strong, swift, independent, and endlessly free. Behind the falcon, you'll see the outline of the state of Idaho itself, rugged, vast, and full of natural beauty. Across the top of the coin, the proud word "Sor Esto Perpetua," the state's motto, meaning, "Let it be perpetual." It's a timeless wish for preservation, endurance, and everlasting freedom, a perfect message for a state as wild and untamed as Idaho. Now, the Denver Mint, represented by that little D, produced a significant number of Idaho quarters back in 2007. However, finding one today in absolutely flawless condition, untouched by time, free from scratches, and with its original luster shining bright, is a true rarity. And when it comes to coin collecting, rarity and perfection are the magic ingredients that transform everyday coins into priceless treasures. Collectors across the world seek out Idaho quarters that have been graded at extremely high mint state levels, MS-67, MS-68, or even higher. These coins show razor-sharp details, shimmering surfaces, and not even the tiniest hint of wear. But there's another layer to this story. Some Idaho quarters were struck with fascinating minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks that create unusual, eye-catching patterns. These mint errors are not flaws, they are quirks that make the coin even more unique and desirable. Imagine holding a coin that not only tells the story of Idaho's wild spirit but also carries an error so rare that it instantly skyrockets its value. That's the kind of treasure collectors dream about. What's even more exciting is that you don't have to be a professional dealer to find one. Many Idaho quarters are still floating around in everyday circulation. That means the next time you get change at the grocery store or empty your car's cup holder, you might just stumble upon a small fortune hiding in plain sight. So, how do you know if you've got a valuable Idaho quarter in your hand? First, check for the D mint mark right under the words, "In God We Trust." Then, examine the coin closely under good lighting. Look for sharpness in the falcon's feathers, clarity in the text, and a brilliant, almost mirror-like shine. And if you spot any unusual doubling of letters or numbers, or notice that the design seems off-center, congratulations, you might have something truly special. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. There has been an astonishing case where an Idaho 1890 to 2007 D quarter, in superb condition and featuring a rare minting error, was sold for an incredible amount. That quarter changed hands for an eye-watering total of $45,000, yes, $45,000, for a single quarter that could have easily gone unnoticed in a handful of spare change. The next lucky find could be waiting for you, so keep your eyes sharp, your pockets ready, and your passion alive, because fortune favors those who know where to look. Last unique coin, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the United States of America States quarter from Maryland, issued in 2000. This particular quarter might just look like another coin in your collection, but trust me, there's so much more to it than you might think. So, sit tight, because we're about to uncover why this Maryland quarter could be worth a small fortune today. The Maryland quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, a series released by the U.S. Mint to celebrate each state's unique history and contributions to the nation. Each quarter in the series was designed to showcase an iconic feature of that particular state, and Maryland's design is no exception. On the reverse side of this quarter, we see a beautiful and symbolic portrayal of the state's maritime heritage. The design features the striking image of a ship under full sail, representing Maryland's long-standing connection to the sea. This is no random symbol. Maryland, with its close proximity to the Chesapeake Bay, has always had a deep relationship with maritime trade, fishing, and naval history. The ship on the quarter pays tribute to the Marylanders who contributed to the state's rich nautical past. Above the ship, we see the words, "The Old Line State," Maryland's official nickname. This nickname dates back to the Revolutionary War, when the Maryland troops were known for their bravery and steadfastness. They were called the Old Line because they formed the first line of defense for the Continental Army. It's a symbol of Maryland's proud military history and resilience, but there's more than just the design that makes this quarter special. The coin itself was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as denoted by the P mint mark located beneath the words E pluribus unum on the reverse side. This mint mark is significant because it identifies the coin as being minted in Philadelphia, one of the oldest and most iconic mints in the U.S. Now, let's talk about rarity. While the Maryland quarter was produced in relatively high numbers compared to other coins, it's the condition and specific variations that determine its value today. You might be surprised to know that not all Maryland quarters are created equal. Some quarters feature unique characteristics, such as minting errors or slight design variations, which can greatly increase their value. For example, certain quarters from this series were struck off-center, meaning the design wasn't properly aligned when it was minted. This can result in a misprint where parts of the design are missing or appear shifted. These kinds of errors are highly sought after by collectors, as they make the coin even rarer and more intriguing. In addition to errors, some Maryland quarters feature what's known as a die crack, a small crack in the die used to strike the coin. These cracks can create interesting and unique features on the coin's design, making each one truly one of a kind. A Maryland quarter with a die crack or other interesting anomaly can be worth considerably more than a standard issue coin, but what truly boosts the value of a Maryland quarter is its condition. The closer the coin is to being in perfect, uncirculated condition, the more valuable it becomes. Collectors are always on the lookout for quarters that are free from wear and tear, scratches, and discoloration. Coins that remain in their original, pristine condition are considered to be more desirable in the market. So, how much can a perfect, rare Maryland quarter be worth? You might be surprised to learn that a mint-condition Maryland 1788 to 2000 P quarter with a unique error or design variation can fetch a truly stunning price. In fact, a few lucky collectors have been able to sell these quarters for an eye-popping $100,000. Yes, you heard that right, $100,000 for a single quarter. Imagine holding a small piece of history in your hand, knowing it's worth a fortune. It's stories like these that remind us why coin collecting is such a thrilling hobby. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting out, it's always worth checking your change to see if you might have one of these rare gems hidden away. Before we wrap up, don't forget that the Maryland quarter's true value lies not just in its design or historical significance, but also in its rarity and condition. Keep an eye out for those off-center strikes, die cracks, and other fascinating anomalies that make a coin stand out in a crowd. Who knows? You might have a future $100,000 coin right under your nose. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to stay updated on more exciting coin discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next find be a true treasure.